Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you for a minute. Now I ain't here to sugarcoat nothing, I came to tell you the truth. You can only win when your mind is stronger than your emotions. Let that marinate for a second. Emotions are powerful. They can lift you up or tear you down in an instant. One moment you feel on top of the world, and the next you're questioning your worth, your direction, your purpose. That's the nature of emotions. They change. They're reactive. They respond to circumstances, people, and even your thoughts. But here's the truth. If you let those emotions lead your life, they will lead you in circles. They'll take you on a roller coaster ride with no destination, and you'll wake up wondering why you haven't moved forward. That's why your mind has to be stronger. Your mind, your thoughts, your decisions, your focus must take the lead, because your mind can see past the moment. Your mind can say, yes, I'm frustrated, but I still have a job to do. Your mind can say, yes, this hurts, but quitting won't help. Your emotions can't do that. They're not built for endurance. They're built for expression. But endurance, that's a mindset. You might feel fear when starting a new venture. That fear is real, but your mind can remind you that fear is just a signal, not a stop sign. You might feel insecure when chasing a big goal, but your mind can remind you of your preparation, your passion, your power. That's the difference. Emotions tell you how things asterisk feel asterisk. Your mind tells you what's asterisk real asterisk. And when those two are in conflict, you better let your mind take the wheel or you'll crash. Too many people let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. They quit on their dreams because they felt discouraged for a season. They walk away from opportunities because they were overwhelmed for a moment. But strong-minded people don't operate like that. They feel everything, but they're not ruled by anything. They know that self-control isn't about being emotionless, it's about choosing what deserves a reaction. If you want to win in life, truly win, you must train your mind to lead, to push through the noise, to stay locked in when the heart wants to run, because emotions will pass, but a focused mind, that's how you build legacy. That's how you rise. That's how you win. Winners don't always feel motivated. They don't always feel confident. They don't even always feel ready. But the key difference between people who win and people who stay stuck is this: winners act anyway. They don't wait for perfect emotions to show up, they show up regardless. Because if you rely on feelings to dictate your actions, you'll always be inconsistent. One bad mood, one tough day, one moment of doubt, and you'll be off track. Winners understand that consistency beats mood every single time. Think about it. The gym doesn't care how you feel, the weights won't lift themselves. That business idea won't grow if you only work on it when you're excited. Discipline is what moves the needle, not emotion. When you look at successful people, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, you'll notice something. They have routines. They have structure. They show up even when they're tired, even when they're stressed, even when no one's clapping for them. Because they've made a decision, and that decision is stronger than how they feel in the moment. See, emotions are unpredictable. Some days you wake up full of fire, and other days you wake up full of doubt. But your goals don't care how you feel. Life doesn't stop and wait for your motivation to return. That's why you've got to lead yourself with commitment, not just passion. Passion fades, commitment sustains. You can feel scared and still take the step. You can feel unsure and still show up. That's courage, and that's where winners live, in that uncomfortable zone where action happens asterisk before asterisk the feeling catches up. Because here's the truth, most of the time motivation comes asterisk after asterisk movement. You don't wait to feel like it, you start doing it and then the energy follows. People who win aren't superhuman, they're just trained. Trained to act in alignment with their goals, not their moods. Trained to keep showing up, even when their emotions scream, take a break, give up, or try again later. That's not luck, that's mental maturity. And that's available to anyone who chooses it. So if you're waiting to feel ready, start moving, start doing, start becoming, because that's how winners are made. Emotions are natural. They're part of being human. But if you don't learn to control your emotions will control you, and that's a dangerous way to live. Emotions like anger, fear, jealousy, and sadness are not bad by themselves. But when they become the drivers of your actions, they can lead you straight into bad decisions, broken relationships, and missed opportunities. Controlling your emotions doesn't mean ignoring them, it means managing them. It means knowing when to pause, when to breathe, and when to choose logic over reaction. Think about how many people ruin chances because they reacted emotionally. Someone gets criticized, and instead of learning from it, they get offended and shut down. Someone faces a challenge, and instead of facing it head on, they panic and give up. That's what happens when emotions run the show. But when your mind is in control, you respond instead of react. You take a step back, evaluate the situation, and make decisions that align with your goals, not just your feelings in the moment. Controlling your emotions is a form of power. It's not weakness, it's strength. Anyone can lash out. Anyone can quit when they're frustrated. Anyone can act on impulse. But it takes maturity to stay calm when everything around you is chaotic. It takes discipline to keep going when your heart wants to retreat. And it takes wisdom to say, I feel this, but I will not be controlled by it. In every area of life, business, relationships, personal growth, the people who succeed are the ones who know how to stay emotionally grounded. You can't build a vision if you're constantly blowing up every time something doesn't go your way. You can't lead others if you can't lead your own emotions. People trust those who stay steady under pressure, not those who crack every time it gets tough. This doesn't mean you have to suppress your emotions. It means you master them. You acknowledge what you feel, but you choose what to do with it. That's the difference between reacting out of emotion and responding with intention. And that difference could be the key to unlocking the life you were meant to live, because when you control your emotions, you gain control over your future. Life is going to test you. That's a guarantee. You're going to face setbacks, failures, heartbreaks, delays, and disappointments. But what separates those who stay stuck from those who rise is not how emotional they get, it's how strong their mind is when adversity shows up. A strong mind doesn't panic, it doesn't fold, it doesn't start making excuses. A strong mind looks at the problem, feels the pressure, and still decides to move forward. That's how winners are built, not in comfort, but in challenge. When your emotions are in charge, adversity feels like the end. You lose a job and your emotions say, you'll never recover. You get rejected and your emotions whisper, you're not good enough. You hit a wall and your emotions shout, give up. But a strong mind answers back with, this isn't the end, this is the beginning of something greater. Your mind reframes the pain. It turns failure into fuel. It uses the obstacle as a stepping stone. Every successful person has faced adversity. The difference is they didn't let their emotions define the story. They let their mindset lead the way. They trained their minds to see setbacks as setups. That business that failed, it taught them how to build better. That relationship that ended, it showed them what they truly deserve. That door that closed, it redirected them to something even bigger. That's what a strong mind does. It looks beyond the moment and sees the lesson. You don't grow when things are easy. You grow when things are hard, and you decide to keep going anyway. And that decision doesn't come from emotion. It comes from a determined, focused, resilient mind. A mind that says, no matter what I feel right now, I'm not stopping here. I've come too far. I've invested too much. I've got too much purpose inside of me to let this break me. So when life hits you, and it will remember, your emotions may shake you, but they don't have to sink you. You have the power to stand up stronger, think clearer, and move smarter. Because adversity doesn't destroy a strong mind, it sharpens it. And once your mind is stronger than your emotions, there's nothing life can throw at you that you can't overcome.